Wow, wow, wow. Hello, everyone. Wow, wasn't that a great dinner? Wasn't that a great dinner? Right. Yeah, I'm really used to going to the Keystone there and getting food and then leaving. So I almost got up and just moseyed on out of here. So I was like, oh, I got something to say. So hold up. So I would like to welcome everyone who's here, staff and volunteers and supporters, guests, and friends and family. I am Tamir Ali. I feel honored, humbled, and privileged to receive this invitation to speak here tonight about what Keystone means to me, and I feel privileged to be involved with you all tonight as Keystone embarks on an awesome humanitarian expansion endeavor to open a new community food center. I'd like to thank you, Jeff, for choosing me, and thank you, Jen, for selecting me to be with you all here tonight. And when I first came in to meet with Jen, first I got lost, so she had to come out and come get me. so we met and we sat down and we had a very pleasant conversation about what was going to take place tonight. And you know, what she kept saying, well, we're not twisting your arm. We're not going to twist your arm. So she said it a few times, so I started thinking, well, maybe she will twist my arm if I don't do this. So then she says, wait a minute, I'm going to go right. I'll be right back. I want you to meet somebody. So then she brought in Miss Adero, and they're both standing there. And I'm like, okay, I don't think I'm going to get out of this unless I say yeah. So I'd like to thank Miss Adero as well for having me here tonight. And back to Jeff. See, I wanted to talk about Jeff and how I know Jeff and how I met him. And the circumstances that happened immediately before Jeff chose me to be here tonight. It was pretty peculiar. So I met Jeff many years ago when I was going through a tough phase in my life, struggling with homelessness. And at that time, Jeff was working with Catholic Charities at Dorothy Day. Jeff was always kind and treated people with dignity and respect. So to see Jeff working with Keystone was very refreshing. Now, having to be at Dorothy Day was a very challenging time in my life. In order to get a bed there at the shelter, I had to stand in line from 5 o'clock to 9:30 every day, rain, snow, or shine. It was the only way to guarantee that you would get a relatively quiet and peaceful night of rest. There would be times when you would stand in line and at the last minute, you'd have groups of people cutting the line to get in. Needless to say, that would cause a lot of arguments and fights. So, on this occasion, when I was at the food shelf, I'm standing in line, and I had gotten there and waited my turn and was all ready to go to get the food. When wouldn't you know, somebody comes in and tries to cut the line. Why did they do that? So needless to say, I digress just a teensy-weensy bit, just a little bit, okay? It was almost a full-on brawl because I take the food shelf very, very seriously, okay? But thank God that person saw the error of his ways and respectfully retreated to the back of the line. No bloodshed, okay? So after that little episode was over, I turned the corner, and there was Jeff smiling. He asked me, hey, Tamir, would you like to be a part of this survey that Keystone's doing? I'm like, yeah, sure, okay. But let me ask you, does this look like a survey? This is not a survey, Jeff. Okay? Okay, nevertheless, though, I thank you again, Jeff, because little did I know what was behind that so-called survey. Totally unaware of the blessing that was in store. At 51, I have learned to live my life one step at a time. I am sensitive to the people and situations I might find myself in and around, and I am grateful for all my blessings. Being the minister that I am, and as I prepared for my speech here tonight, one Bible quote kept coming into my head. In the book of James, it says, "All good things come from above." For me, Keystone Food Shelf is definitely a good thing. That's why it's going to be hard to say what Keystone means to me without mentioning God. Actually, what it means to me individually is almost irrelevant. I can just say without food, you'll die. And in between not having food and being hungry is a dark, dark, painful journey. I never made it to the end of that journey, but thank God. But I kind of know what it feels like. When I began working on my speech, I asked if I could mention God and my faith here tonight. I know Keystone is not a Christian organization, but for me, I see Keystone's work as an extension of God's work. In the scriptures, it mentions that to feed the hungry is one of God's cornerstone ways to treat people. Keystone makes sure that people can get food for their tables. Everyone needs shelter, clothing, and food. Keystone provides food for everyone in the community who comes to their door. Keystone helps me nourish my body. Through the food that I receive, Keystone also helps nourish my soul. When I visit the Keystone Food Shelf in Midway, I get the support I need. I also see my community get food and support. Keystone was founded with the vision of neighbors helping neighbors. That reminds me of God's call to care for one another. In Romans, it says, "If your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink." So see, no one's exempt from the call to feed the hungry. God calls us to meet the needs of even those whom we might call our enemies. Keystone helps everyone, and I am honored to be here tonight with so many people who are answering the call to help people in our community. When I think of the Keystone Midway Food Shelf, I think of it like the pressure valve on a pressure cooker. So hang with me here, okay? As small and as insignificant as the food shelf building looks, I mean, if you walk too fast, you walk right by it. It's right there. Look up, it's right there. But it's very small from the outside. The Keystone Food Shelf helps ease a little pressure that many people feel. Many people are anxious and worried about where their next meal might come from. Keystone helps with that, and thus relieves a little pressure in our community. Keystone is critical to holding the entire system together, literally. Right now, it feels like the pressure in our community is growing. I know many more people are visiting the food shelf now. Keystone needs more space to be able to continue to help our community and relieve this pressure being felt by so many people. When I heard about Keystone's plan to build a large community food center, it reminds me of the large building project Dorothy Day did. Keystone must grow like they did. I love Dorothy Day. Her vision, along with the action of the good people of Minnesota, has helped me tremendously, and it still does to this day. Many kind-hearted people in Minnesota came together to give generously to fund the new facilities at Dorothy Day and help people and provide important programs there. Those people gave to provide services of which themselves would probably never need. I am a direct recipient of that vision and action. I've seen great transformation take place there at Dorothy Day. And that same energy and opportunity is here tonight at Allianz Field with Keystone and their vision and call to action to open a new community food center. All of you, or us, can rise to the call the same as they did for Dorothy Day. We all can be a part of an amazing humanitarian demonstration to those in need. Keystone has always had my back, and tonight we can have the back of Keystone. What Keystone means to me is truly still evolving. I mean, I started at picking up macaroni, and now I'm standing here, so I thought I might shed a tear too, but that's okay. So forgive me if it's not very specific, and it is hard to describe how much Keystone means to me in our community. I know I just see the tip of the iceberg when I walk into the community, the Keystone community, and visit the food shelf in Midway. So I know Keystone has way more going on than just giving free food and groceries to people like me. I mean, there's nothing like free food. Those words together are like free money. So you got free food, free money. But the fact is that those groceries mean that I have more money needed, I have the money needed to pay my light bill. Or I can afford a few bucks to do laundry. Or I have enough spare money to catch the bus to my job. This is on top of having the food in my refrigerator and on the table. Keystone helps stretch my budget and give me a little peace of mind to do other things I need to do. I have been a participant now at Keystone on and off for 8 years. I so value Keystone and everything I get from the food shelf. Not only can you get what you need, but also sometimes they have the things you want, like coffee. I really like coffee, okay. But you never know what they're going to have at the food shelf. It's not like you can call and ask, hey, y'all got cheeseburgers today? The entire experience is by faith. The Keystone staff and volunteers are always kind and pleasant, and I find it to be very refreshing. They are always asking if you have enough bags or if I can carry all that food home. My reply is always the same, oh yeah. The Keystone volunteers and staff show us what it means to care for another in our community. All of you here tonight also show it by caring for neighbors like me and so many other people in our community. I am grateful for you all and hope you will give as generously as you are able to help Keystone open their new building. I would like to end my speech tonight with a quote from Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was recognized by the Pope as a great humanitarian. Here is one thing Dr. King said about feeding the hungry. He says, when I die, don't build a monument to me. Don't bestow me degrees from great universities. Just say, I clothe the naked, say I tried to house the homeless, and let people say that I tried to feed the hungry. Thank you very much for having me here tonight.